Well, CMF Trailers, as you saw, just outside Ross-On-Wye. The van is still minging dirty, but that'll be the job when we get back. And there we go, CMF Engineering, and look at this, here it is. This is Peggy 2. There's the side load transverse, I suppose is the posh word, trailer that we're going to drop on the back of her. Don't tell anybody at the moment, but I haven't had me third number plate, I should say, made up yet. But as long as I get back in the daylight, the rear one on the van will be visible, so we'll just get away with it. There's the ramp that detaches side load out this side, and then obviously straightforwardly front wheel of the little scooter that we're going to get next week, hopefully Wednesday. The spare tyre is an option. It's about 50 or 60 quid, I think, just to add that, which I fancied getting because I don't want to get stranded in the deepest Europe, southern Europe, if we've got a flat to be hanging around on the side of the road. So I got one of those added. You'll see it's got a little hitch lock here, but I'm also going to probably add another bit of security from this loop underneath here onto the tow bar itself, another security cable. Its own little jockey wheel, and you'll see there that the actual groove for the bike, the channel for the bike, is very slightly forward of that rear axle. So obviously once you've detached it from the van, then there's no fear, of course, even with the weight of, I think it's about 175 kilos, the scooter, no danger of it tipping up at all or anything like that because of the weight distribution. You can see here, this is the piece that hinges upwards and then lowers down with these onto the handlebars with this rubber protection there, but we might add a bit more of that. We'll see how that sets up. And the idea of this as well, in terms of storage, is that you pop out this, or it can be popped out, and then the trailer will sit upright. That's because these bits stand further back. There is actually an option for this CMF trailer to have another piece that comes out of here with two small casters on it, so that if you wanted to lift it upright and then push it around, it gives you that option of some like little miniature casters that help you push the thing when it's on its end. But I think we'll try it as it is at the moment, and then because I don't have to push it far, just inside the garage, and then put it upright. So I'm going to see what it's like without that addition, or might even make something of my own to fit in those, because obviously these pop out. But obviously the light board's all set up there, all ready to go, with the plug at the front there to match the 7-pin that you saw put on by Mick Parkinson yesterday. Now there's the workshop. Phil Hodges, who owns the business here, they are going to stop making trailers in about a year's time, 2024, April 2024. So if you've and we're now in February 2023, so if you've got any inclination to get a little side load trailer, then make sure you get in the next year or so. CMF are one of the makers. There are, I think, one or perhaps even only one other maker that make the side load trailers on the market. Phil was offered a really good service, was better and a more competitive quote than his competitor, and therefore that's why we chose to come here. And this is where all the magic happens in here. First of all, the trailer starts its life here before the pieces, bits and bobs, being cut up. These are some bits ready for another fabrication that's just about to start, and then some of the cutting lathes there. Over there, one of the machines that bends some of the, or contours some of the metal pieces, which is all done here. For example, these bits here, they start their life as flat pieces, but then this machine here then just adds all the angles and does the bending work here. On the ramp, on the stand here, is where they're then all finally put together. before becoming what you've seen out there. Now they do a couple of different ones. This one that we're just collecting today is for bikes or scooters up to 240 kilos. Our little 300 Pegasus comes in at about 170 kilos, so got plenty of leeway there. And then they do another one which is up to 325 kilos, which would take probably a lot of some of the bigger bikes. Certainly one of my old bikes that we got rid of a few years ago was a Harley Touring, and that was about 400 kilos, so you'd have had a hell of a job getting that, and in fact you probably wouldn't even be able to push it up onto the ramp, let alone leave it on there. So but obviously an awful lot of bikes will come in well under the 325 kilo mark, or indeed the 240 kilo mark, which is the version we've got there. They do another model as well which still has the loading ramps the same, but then all of this surface here is checker plated, and in fact I think in the workshop here we've got a variation of that. So it's either the 240 kilo one, which is like the one you've just seen, or then here we go, yeah, here's an example of it, checker plated right across the top there, and then similarly the 325 kilo one, that's also got some options to have that checkerboard right away across the base there, or like our one there that we've just got, just that single channel for the bike, and then the detachable ramp that goes out to the side. You'll see there that there's obviously, because the front wheel stand is mounted there, you can adjust it, as you can see there with the holes. There is an option as well, of course, to turn it round, so if you wanted to load from this side, then that's an option. I just need to mention that obviously when you first speak to CMF, there is an option to have that loading capability. And of course you can see the lashing points there, ready for some, no doubt, some good sized ratchet straps that I've got from a former life that have been in the garage for ages waiting for a job, and they'll now have one to fasten on the scooter. Right, anyway, time to do a bit of paperwork and then we'll get it hitched up. So look how easy that is to move as well. Used to have an Eiffel Williams ages ago, twin axle thing, which was a lot heavier than this, so this is dead good that it's so easy to move around. So
now drop it down, make sure that peg sticks out the front.
Yes,
that prevents the handle from
coming
down. To undo it, press the trigger underneath there, push it forward, lift it off.
Fantastic. Okay. Very similar.
Then turn the key,
lock the hitch. Got you.
Trigger's now locked.
Yes, and as we said on the phone, Phil, I'll probably try and use your loop here and then pop it through the fittings underneath there on the tow bar, just an extra security cable.
That one there.
Breakaway cable.
Breakaway cable goes into one of those. Okay, so that's now fixed on there.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then this one here, notch in the bottom. Notch in the bottom, push it home. You're all connected.
Fantastic. Well, let's give it a light test first and foremost. I'll go and fire up the ignition. I'd have to confess, when I first had my IFA, I remember driving off once and forgetting to put the jockey wheel up. Needless to say, I wore the tyre out a little bit. It didn't kill it, but it definitely had a little bit less tread on it than when I started.
Okay, do you want to try your lights?
Yeah, we'll give it a go. Yeah, fantastic. I love it when a plan comes together and everything works. And that's the in fact, the noise you can hear there is, if you remember, the electric box was stuck up underneath there. That's the buzzer that goes off when the hazards are active. And there we go, simple as that. All we need now is a scooter. And there we go, just before we head off back to Tenby. On the brand spanking new tow bar of yesterday. There's our detachable ramp, just held in by that. And a pretty straightforward, there's some details of CMF Trailers. And a pretty straightforward bit of engineering, which hopefully will give us many a mile with the scooter. Look out for that film, which is coming very soon. Delivery hopefully next Wednesday of a Pegasus 300, Lexmoto Pegasus 300cc scooter, which is going to sit on here nicely because the wheelbase of the scooter is only 1.61 meters. This bed that you're looking at here, that's 2 meters already, so more than enough space. Overall the scooter's a bit longer, about 2.2 meters, but the actual wheelbase, which is relevant, is 1.6. So, but we'll show you a picture of that once we've taught ourselves how to load and unload and strap it on, ready for the European adventures in May, hopefully this year. Got some plans coming together for a trip through the tunnel in May, but I'm sure we're going to be getting out and having a few practice runs in the UK before May to see how it all handles and sticks on and off the trailer. Thoroughly looking forward to that. Thoroughly looking forward to it. I've screwed the drilled and screwed the new number plate in on the trailer. So all we need now is a scoot. Or what I should say is you now need to meet Peggy the Pegasus, Lexmoto Pegasus, that we've bought to go on this. So let's have a look at her. And here is Peggy the Pegasus, to be known as Peggy from now on. She's a Lexmoto Pegasus 300, what they call, I think, a maxi scooter. About 170 kilos, just over 175 kilos I think, which will sit on the trailer, which of course had to be called Peggy 2, so we've got Peggy and then my Peggy 2. And being a 300, she's fairly economical, about 75 miles to the gallon. Runs off petrol. You can mess around with the digital display here, change its colour and its display, but should be more than enough to take the both of us. Gives us a bit more range than the electric bikes, which was why we did it. Having been in France and Croatia last year, we could just done with yes, staying out of town, which we love, in some of the rural sites, but then also being able to travel a bit further afield, to perhaps visit nearby towns, to take a walking kit off, to go walking. And this just gives us a bit more of an option, or would have done certainly if we were in Croatia, to get to some of the other national parks as well as Plitvice that we've visited, that you saw the film of. So so the electric bikes are, the electric pedal bikes that is, are going to be sold. So of course, if any of you watching might be interested in a couple of electric bikes, Ezego 700 NXs, then let us know in the comments below. We're now February 2023. Twin headlamps at the front, and altogether a pretty simple little thing. It's what they call a twist and go, so it's just got a rear brake and a front brake, exactly the same as you would on a bicycle, and just twist and go, so no gears, no clutch. A very straightforward little proposition, but gives us a lot more option from sites where we're parked up in the van. Just gives us a bit more range to go shopping, go sightseeing, whatever it may be. But stay tuned, because of course we'll bring you a lot more adventures with Peggy the Pegasus as we work on through this year. First trip planned pretty soon. How exciting was all that, eh? Peggy is here.
I know. Isn't she a beaut?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
What, Peggy? Or me? Or you? Oh, no. Yes. The Moto, the maxi scooter.
Yes, yes.
What a bit of fun that's going to be. So, We are thoroughly looking forward to that, as you can probably tell. It gives us a lot more scope, as I was saying earlier, doesn't it?
It does, and it's a shame I couldn't have come up with you to get the trailer, but I was here looking after the Airbnb while Bob was holidaying in Preston.
It was all graft, it really was all graft. Work and slave I did, work and slave.
Yes, yeah, and just as an aside, we do have an Airbnb. We live in Tenby, and it's fantastic. Yeah. It's in a fantastic location, close to the town centre, about a mile away. We'll put a link in the description.
Yes, I tell you what, we will.
Yeah.
Why not? Link in the description. If you fancy to run down here, then have a look at the property on Airbnb.
Yeah, we've been running it now for five years.
Yeah, 5 years in May. Can you believe that?
Not to sort of brag about it, but we are super hosts, aren't we? Just saying. Right,
enough of all this frivolity and chit chat, and a big thank you as always for watching, for Peggy joining the family, for the trailer now joining the family, Peggy and Peggy too, and we'll see you again very soon.
Peggy Sue.
Yes, or two. Yeah. We'll see you again very soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye.